Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Knuckleheads podcast. This is season 2. I'm Andy.
I'm Mandy.
Why the hell are you laughing at me?
I wasn't expecting so much enthusiasm.
Well, maybe you should have some enthusiasm.
Boop.
Okay, so yeah, we've been gone for a while, unfortunately. At least with making these podcasts.
Yes.
There's a lot to talk about. We could have talked about this in our last episode, but we decided to wait for the one that we were gonna make now. But then we just never made it.
Yeah.
So we actually did some things this summer. It's end of summer now, but we did some things this summer that we're gonna talk about, and we're also gonna catch up on the book. We ended up actually finishing the whole book. So we'll just talk about everything. But going forward for future book club meetings, we're gonna try to go a couple chapters at a time instead of just going through the whole thing at once.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's go in order. So first things first, in the beginning of the summer, we went on a weekend trip to Hershey Park.
Yee.
So
Sadie,
it,
hold on. Oh, Sadie has my hand and it hurts. Ow, Sadie, let go. She has all three paws. Ow!
all three
Sadie.
paws. She
Yeah,
has four.
but she has 3 paws. Ow, no. She has my other hand now. Sadie, ow! Stop, you bitch. Ow. My hand hurts.
What a way to start this off.
It genuinely hurt. She was digging her nails into my hand.
I don't know why you let her get on top of you.
I didn't. I was giving her pets, and then she was licking my hand. And I was like, okay, cute. So I let her lick my hand, and then we started, and then she attacked my hand, and then she started digging her nails into it.
She wanted to eat it.
She got real mean real fast, man.
Damn. Well, we went to Hershey Park, as I was saying.
Yeah.
It was a nice road trip. On our road trip, we played a game pretty much where Amanda would play a song and I would try to guess it and see if I could also guess the artist. Sometimes I did really well. Sometimes I was able to guess the artist, but not the song because I didn't know the song, but I could tell by the lyric. But it was a lot of fun, and it was a way to pass the time. It
Yes.
was. I did the driving, but it was a little nerve wracking at certain points. There were some roads that were very narrow, and it made me scared.
Yeah, because there was a lot of construction going on. So
Yeah,
there was like a barrier on both sides, and then it was a solid white line. So, you were very close to the cars and trucks that were next to you.
yeah. Like I was in the left lane, but there wasn't much of cause some especially on the bigger highways. Usually there's a little bit of a shoulder on the left, like not like big enough for a car to pull over, but enough that like there's some space between the road and uh whatever it is, grass or cement. But like the this wall was like right up against the side of the road, so I didn't want to be all the way over on the left side because of that, because I didn't have much road. Like I would hit the wall, and on my right side, I think it was the same thing. Like in the right lane, there was like a divider, so people were kind of like a little bit more towards the middle. So we were just all very close to each other. It was really scary.
Yeah, you weren't a fan.
No, and it stretched for like a couple miles too. It was like 2 or 3 miles until finally it was done. Um, it wasn't as bad coming home, but going there, I remember it felt like it was lasting forever. And there was also big trucks too.
Yeah, big trucky boys that went vroom vroom in the right lane.
Yeah. And I remember my ass started hurting towards the end. I was like, oh, like I'm getting a cramp in my ass.
Yeah, it was a long drive, but it was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. We got there, checked into the hotel. Hotel was a little sketchy in my opinion. Like I feel like the people
What?
just like I feel like the
Okay.
people just didn't want to be there and didn't like that we were there.
Okay, but that doesn't make it sketchy. Like the people there were rude. I agree
Okay,
with
maybe
that,
not
but
sketchy, but I felt uncomfortable in their presence.
it was a nice hotel though. It
Oh, I mean, the
was
hotel room was nice.
Yeah. It wasn't in like a sketchy area, it's just they were a little moody when we walked in.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like they kind of just looked at us. I mean, it was obviously my first time ever checking into a hotel, like because usually when I've gone, it's like my parents dealt with that.
Yeah.
And I was a little new to it, and they just kind of looked at me like, "What the hell you want?" And I'm just like, I'm here to check in.
Yeah, they weren't having it. The girl when we checked out though seemed nice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There's just when we got there.
When we left, it was a little nicer. I mean, maybe because we came in the middle of the day and they were just like, I mean, they didn't look busy, so they're probably like, oh, you guys are like bothering us. Because I remember like
Yeah,
sometimes when I worked at Staples and having conversation with coworkers, and someone would come up to us, it felt like, oh shoot, we got to stop talking for this person. But
yeah,
we try not to show it. But these people seem to not care. Also,
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
hotel smelled like weed a lot.
Did it?
Yeah, remember we went up the stairs and like I think it was like some of the employees were doing it because like someone passed us.
I mean,
And
there,
it's
I'm
just
sure there was smoking rooms, but
I
we
don't
were on
know.
the non-smoking floor. But
I don't know. I think
yeah,
someone was outside and came in with that smell.
maybe.
Yeah, it's just that weed has a very strong, pungent smell and whatnot. So,
Yeah,
um, hotel room was actually really nice. Um, I can't remember. Was that the hotel room where the water went all over the place with the shower? Or was that AC?
it was that one. I
It was
think.
Hershey.
I think so. Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
because we learned the second time in AC.
Yeah, yeah. Basically, water went all over the floor in front of the tub, and I was like, man. And so then we put a towel down, but it was like we didn't know the water was just gonna spray out like that.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
the shower curtain was weird.
yeah, but we had a nice TV. I remember at the time,
We watched
hockey.
Tucky.
Yeah, the Stanley Cup was still going on, and I was rooting for the Avalanche because the Lightning knocked out the Rangers. So
Rip.
and it was very intense. And yeah, I remember we watched one of the games from the hotel room, which was pretty fun. Um, yeah, but so the hotel was great. First day we got there, we kind of just chilled. We went to the room. We went out to eat at
To
Outback.
Outback.
Yeah, we had a $50 gift card, so we didn't really spend money that day, which was nice. Kind of just like
Yes.
took in the area and
We
just
should
kind of
go to
relaxed.
Hershey for Christmas.
1 year. I'm not sure about this year.
God damn it.
Um,
Gotta try.
I mean, with my new job and everything, like I'll have company out. I mean, like work vacation that I can use. Like I have no problem getting time off. It's just um, I don't know if I want to do it this Christmas.
Yeah, because there's do you remember, like, what was it? Like the little bus that was outside of the chocolate factory where people were getting on?
Well, I
The
mean,
little tour
I know
rides?
you want to talk about this, but I was gonna get to the details of the day when we were actually at the park, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Well, so what you could do is they have the Hershey Sweet Lights, and you can pay to take a ride on that little bus, and it'll take you through the lights actually. And as you're on the bus, you sing like Christmas carols and eat chocolate, and it's actually really fun.
Yeah,
So
I don't know. I mean, I probably would be down for that, but sometimes I'm just like not sure if I want to. With a bunch of random people, but I mean, I get it. Like during Christmas, like you have that whole Christmas vibe,
everyone's,
and
yeah, like all cheery and happy.
yeah, yeah. So it might be more fun when the time comes. But again, I don't know. I don't know if I want to do it this year. Maybe another time. I mean, we'll be able to go back again soon. I'm sure. Um,
Yeah,
sorry that I just hit my mic. Like I was rubbing my eye and I smacked my mic.
it's okay.
Um, but yeah, next day we went to the park. And we had a goal. So like I'm not a fan of roller coasters. I'm scared of heights and I get like major anxiety.
I'm not a
And
fan of roller coasters either, just to put it out there.
but Amanda's a little bit more brave than I am and went on the very first thing we did there was Amanda went on a ride called Comet.
Yee. Yeah.
And the whole time leading up to this day, I kept saying there were two roller coasters that I was like saying I would go on. Laugh Track and Comet. And Comet was a higher drop than Laugh Track. Comet was like 96 feet. And I remember like Amanda went online right away. And again, I wanted if I was gonna go on Comet, I wanted to at least work up my adrenaline and not go on it right away. I mean, if I went on it right away, I would probably been good for the rest of the day. But Amanda did, and she went online, and I was just, she went online, and I was just kind of like stood by where
No, you
the
walked over to Sky Rush.
yeah, but that's
Cause
where the
you,
peak. That's where the
yeah.
peak of Comet was. So I was able to look at Sky Rush at the same time. That was great. I'll get to that in a minute. But I kept watching. I said, maybe I could do it because I mean, it doesn't look that bad. It doesn't look that bad. But like, I don't know. But then I kept saying to myself, I want to like get my adrenaline pumping before going on it. So I didn't want to do it right away. And then I don't know when Amanda went, but she texted me that she was about to go, and then she was done.
Yeah.
But I remember the whole time before you explain how Comet was for yourself. I want to say the whole time I was waiting, and I think the reason why I kept going back and forth as well was because, like Amanda said, Sky Rush was right there. Now, Comet's 96 feet in the air, and then it goes down. That's like the highest point of the ride, and all the other bumps are lower. And at that point, you got over the 96-foot drop. You could get over the other two drops
Yeah.
or three drops, whatever it is. But I'm looking at Sky Rush, and I'm like, it looks 3 times as tall, but in reality, it's only 200 feet high. So
Yeah.
it's really only double the height. But it looked so much taller, and it's also a much more vertical incline up and a much more vertical
Down.
drop.
Yeah.
Whereas Comet's more kind of like your traditional hill. So like this looked a lot scarier, and I saw people younger than me. Like I remember kids that were barely tall enough to ride on it, excited to go on it, and they went on it. I'm watching this. I'm like, I'm getting terrified looking at that more than Comet. So I'm like, oh, Comet doesn't seem as bad, but man, then I would stare at Comet and I'll be like, I can't do it, or at least not right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was scary. But you want to explain what you thought when in your moment?
Yeah, sure. So I got online and I saw you walking away, and I was like, "Oh, damn! There goes my Andrew. He's just leaving."
Well,
So I
what
was,
was I gonna do?
so I was like, "Okay, cool." And then
Okay,
I
cool.
met a very young little girl who was behind me in line, and her mom, and we started talking.
I
And
don't
it was,
remember this.
yeah, me and her were talking with her and the mom, and we were talking about roller coasters, and the young girl loved roller coasters. I was like, dang, good for you. Well, I didn't say dang, but so wow, good for you. Because I am a little baby when it comes to roller coasters, and I don't like anything that goes upside down, has a high drop, or goes in the dark. So we get to the top, and the girl's like mumbling, right? So she's like, "How many?" I'm like, "What?" She's like, "Okay, go wherever you want." I was like, "Wait, what? Sorry." She's like, "Just go wherever you want." And I was like, "Okay." So I go to like not the front, but it's like if you ever been on roller coasters, there's like different like sections. So like there's the first section that might have like 3 rows, and the second section, blah blah. So I'm in the second section, first row, and the little girl sits in front of me with her mom. So meanwhile, I like the whole time. If you ever been like scared to go on something, you get like the scared shit feeling. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
I'm feeling it right now just thinking about it.
Well, me too, but that's just because I actually had to take a shit. But
Wait.
anyways, so we start going, and in my mind, because I've been on this roller coaster before, and I was like, oh yeah, it was a bunch of fun. I forgot how bumpy this fucking roller coaster was. And the thing was, because it's a wooden roller coaster, for anyone who doesn't know, so they tend to be a lot more rough. So the first drop is fine, and the way Comet is you're constantly going up, down, up, down, up, down, and then so there's 3 big main drops, but then there's a little section going towards the back where you just like there's small hills, but it's kind of like a wave. So you're like up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, and then you're coming back up, down, up, down, up, down. And the whole time you're getting like that dropping feeling, but you're also, at least with me, because you just have like the bar that goes down. Nothing else really holding you in. Unless there might have been a seatbelt. I think there was a seatbelt. Never mind, I lied. So you have like a little seatbelt on that just goes across your waist, and then the lap down bar. So even though you have all this on, every time you're going up, you fly out of your seat a little bit. And I don't know if that was just a me thing that was happening, but that was a little concerning. But it was fun. I liked it. I would have gone on it again. But yeah.
Yeah,
And then at the end, the little girl, because we had to wait until we got like off, she turned around and she started talking to me about turtles. It was very cute.
just went on this intense ride. Let's talk about turtles.
Yeah. She's like, oh my god, it was so fun. So yeah. Well, I think because they have the zoo there, so they wanted to go see turtles.
Nice.
But yeah.
Like, even thinking about it now, I'm, like, trying to, like, say, like, "Yeah, next time I go to Hershey, I'll build up the courage to go on it." But the thing with me that gets me the most, and this will come up again later, is the feeling of going up and going up the chain. And it's that moment where I'm at my worst on a roller coaster, I feel, because then that's when my anxiety kicks in, and I
What
don't
goes
like
up,
how
come
high up
down.
I am, and also it takes so long to get to the top on, sometimes. So,
That was the thing about Sky Rush, though. That thing just flew you to the
well,
top.
that's also because it's a lot taller, so, like, you would be taking forever to get up
That's
there.
true. That was funny to watch, though.
And also what made me nervous about Skyrush was that it broke down, like, 2 or 3 times while Amanda was in line, so I was just like, "My god, this ride." But,
Yeah. All the rides were broken down that day.
yeah,
A lot of the
I d
big roller coasters, but that didn't matter to us.
yeah, but, yeah, so I was just thinking about it, I was like, "Oh, maybe I could go on Comet next time we go up there," but then I started thinking about the going up, and I just started having, like, a little panic attack, but I said, like, once I get over that, and once that first drop happens, then that's it, then my body doesn't care anymore, but
Yeah.
it's me getting over that fear in the beginning, um, that is hard for me to do, and, like, also, when you're waiting online for, like, 30 to an hour, like, 30 minutes to an hour, it's like you start losing confidence, and then you're like, "I can't do this, fuck it, like, I'm getting out of this."
Yeah.
But I think next time we go, hopefully I get the courage to go on it. And even if not, I'm sure I'll go back a couple times and eventually
Yeah.
I'll overcome Comet because like I don't think like Amanda said, she's not a big roller coaster person besides probably Comet being like the scariest one she's gone on. And I'm don't personally plan on going on anything like Sky Rush or any of these other crazy ones that we'll talk about. But I want to at least maybe go on Comet at least once in my life. So
I think you could do it.
yeah. So after that, we went on like some baby rides, like the one car one, whatever the frick
Yeah,
that
like the
was.
little race cars, but it was like the where you just drive around on the track, but it was like the old vintage cars.
Yeah,
We
but
did.
the track was like already like you just had to press on the gas and it did
Yeah.
everything for you pretty much. You didn't have to really do any driving.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it
And
was
then
fun.
we went on that Kiss Tower, which again, that was high up in the air, but that was like, a very casual ride. It was just to get a view of the park. So I
Yeah.
didn't like being that high up, but I felt safe. So,
Yeah. Because he went slow.
yeah. And that was nice and cool and we were rotating and whatnot. Um, what did we do right after that? Oh, did we go on the Reese's right after that?
No. I
Oh,
went on a drop tower.
oh yeah, the drop tower. So there's 3 of them, and there's the little one, well, I'd say quote unquote little one, but the little one that goes about 50 feet or no, 80 feet in the air,
80. Yep.
and it's like called like it was like the Hershey Kiss one. Then there was the middle one, which was the Reese's, which was like
Reese's.
what 110 or something,
Something like that.
and then the Hershey one was like 200 or something.
Yeah.
Um, Amanda went on the Hershey one. I was gonna follow her.
I went on the kisses. I went on the small
Oh,
one.
why did I say Hershey? Yeah, I meant
I
the
don't know.
Kisses one. She went the little one, the little baby one,
Ugh.
and I
Should
was
I?
gonna go. You could explain in a minute. I just want
Okay.
to say my point of view. Like, I'm not gonna say what happened when you did go on it. I'm just gonna say why I didn't go on it. And looking at it, it didn't look that bad. Like, it looked a lot more comfortable than when I was looking at Comet. But again, my adrenaline. Like I said, we still haven't, or I haven't gone on anything adrenaline like yet. So I wasn't sure if I could handle it still. I said, like, I still haven't got but I said, like, maybe this will be the ride to get me hyped up.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at it, and then I chickened out last second, and Amanda went on. But I kept thinking, like, oh, maybe I could do it. And just like Comet, I'm thinking about it. And maybe next time we go there, I could do this ride. But again,
Yeah.
thinking about it, I'm getting some anxiety, so I don't know if I can. But I mean, I'll let Amanda explain it, and I want you to tell me at the end when you're done explaining it, Amanda, if you think I can handle it. Because
All right.
again, this ride, it's not that long, and again, it's like that
No.
initial thing that you have to get used to. but I don't know. Like I think like, oh, I could do it, and then all of a sudden a second later, I'm like, "Ah, I'm not sure if I can. Then I'm like, oh, maybe I can. And I'm like, oh, no, I'm not sure if I can. And then I think about what happened, and then I'm like, ugh, I don't know.
Well,
But
first, it was the most embarrassing thing to be a 22-year-old going on the
I don't think it's
smallest drop
embarrassing.
tower. Because I went onto the line, they're like the kids. I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm a baby. They're like, it's okay. And then I was the only person on it. So the guy working it seemed so annoyed that I was like the only person on it, so he had to like close everything else. Whatever. So the whole time, because I've been on drop towers before, and usually what it is like it brings you to the top and drops you down, then you go back up, come down, blah blah blah, like that. So what happened was I was petrified. I was so scared. So Andrew can like test to this. I had the thing pulled down over me, and I'm holding on with like my arms crossed, and I'm having my legs crossed, like I'm holding on for dear life, and nothing's even happened yet. And I'm so scared. So I'm like waiting for it to like start going up. So the guy goes, "Ready?" I'm like, "Yep." So he starts it up, and it first just like goes up like not even a foot, I don't think. Maybe a foot. Well, for the story we'll say a foot. So it goes up like a foot or two, and it just stops. So I'm like, okay, it's gonna start soon. And out of nowhere, it just shoots me up to the top, out of nowhere, and it scares the shit out of me because I was not expecting it at all. So I'm just screaming. It shoots me to the top, and then it doesn't like just free drop you. It because you lift up as you're going up, and then you like feel it pulling you down, and it was scary like as soon as it took off, but like afterwards it was so much fun. It was I was like laughing my ass off because I'm like, wow. Like it was scary at first, but after the initial drop, it's great. So yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
Um,
funny though. I wish she recorded it.
I was going to, but then kind of like the same thing. I wasn't expecting you to get shot up, so I wasn't ready. Like I was getting my phone out, and my phone's
Yeah.
crappy and it's old, so it was taking a bit for the camera app to open. And then you just got shot up. I'm like, well, I already missed it. But do you think I could handle that?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Again, the height is like what worries me, and then like being that high in the air. But again, it's kind of quicker than I think what Comet would be, because like I was explaining before, the thing about Comet that got me scared was like going up the chains and like it taking a little while, and then you get to the top, and then you go. With this, it's kind of like, all right,
You're
you
just
get to the
shut up.
top in like 2 seconds, and it's like, all right, it's here now. What are
Yeah.
you gonna do about it? Now you gotta have to deal with it. And like after the first up and down, then I think it's like, okay, then the factor's gone, and
Yeah.
then I could kind of enjoy it. Um, it's just I don't know. Like I said, I was scared to get on it at first, and then I was like, oh, I could do it. No, I can't. I could do it. No, I can't. And then I just ended up not doing it. But I think next time when we go, I'm just gonna have to follow Amanda and sit myself in, and then just be like, all right, I'm in. Now I can't get out. Now do it, and then
Yeah.
I'll have fun. And then yeah, I might be scared in the very first 5 seconds, and then after that's over, then the rest of it would be fine.
Ye- Then we went on the Reese's thing.
Yeah, the Reese's Drive is like basically like a laser thing, like where you shoot at different things on the wall and you get points. I ended up
Yeah.
doing the best out of everyone. Thank you
Yeah.
very much. All my Call of Duty skills coming into play here.
Yes, yes.
I never shot a gun in real life, or a paintball gun, or even a freaking BB gun. Only Nerf guns, but I still had the best aim.
Yeah, you did. It was fun though.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
I mean it was a long, long line. No,
Oh
that's
yeah.
another thing. We got there when the park opened, so that's also
Mhm.
why Amanda was the only one on the kiss drop, because there wasn't really that many people queued up for it.
There was other
Um,
people queued up for like the other
The
ones.
other ones, yeah, but even them, it wasn't like a long line. Like when people went on, it was just like okay, and they just sat them all in and whatnot.
Yeah.
There wasn't really anyone waiting, but yeah, it was early in the morning. So, but that's what the Reese's one. I was surprised, but I guess because that's what like one of the first things people like to do. I guess. So that one was like a long line. After that,
We
was that
went
when
on
we?
the little monorail. Oh no, we
Yeah,
went to the Scrambler.
yeah, I was gonna say we went on the scrambler. Oh, and keep in mind, this is you know summer, but I brought my sweat jacket with me for some reason that day, and it was a good thing I did because we went on the scrambler. I'll explain the scrambler, but after that, it started raining, so I had my hoodie, and I remember I was a little cold. So actually, it kind of helped out later as it started drizzling a little bit, but it didn't like rain, which was nice.
Yeah.
But it was cloudy the whole day, but it was comfortable. But
Yes.
scrambler. So I went to Hershey twice as a kid, and I barely remember it. But I remember the last time I went to Hershey, we went on the scrambler, and I got like motion sickness on it. And I remember I had to close my eyes because keeping it open was making me way too dizzy. So I was a little again, this ride had more confidence to go on. But I was a little anxious because of that old memory. So I was like, "Oh, is that gonna happen to me again?" But I said, I'm not gonna pussy out of this ride like the roller coasters. I'm gonna make myself go on these rides because these rides I know aren't gonna be nearly as bad. Um, and I know that they're gonna be a lot of fun and whatnot. So we get on, and then starting off, I'm like, okay, this is fine. But then the way the scrambler works, when you're rotating in a circle, but as you're rotating in the circle, the arm that you're on gets like stretched out to one side and then pulled in and then stretched out to the other side and pulled back in as you're
Well,
going in the
you're
circle.
basically going in a circle as you're going in a circle.
Yeah, but it's also the arms are stretching in and out.
No, they're not.
But it felt like we were getting pulled to one side, then the other
Well,
side,
yeah,
then
because that's like the whole thing with force science, boy. So imagine like an
I
octopus
wasn't
with
watching the arms.
okay, so like imagine an octopus, right? Like and it has all its arms out. Okay? And on each arm there's like a pole that goes straight down and then like five different seats. Okay? So as the whole octopus is like spinning in a circle, each like pole that has the seats on is also spinning. So that's kind of how it is. So as you're spinning, as the octopus is spinning, you're spinning in a circle. So it's like the force of it is like what gives you like you're being pulled out, but you're not.
Uh huh. Yeah,
Science.
yeah. I mean that is all physics. It has to do with inertia. Like when your body's like used to going one way and then you suddenly change direction, your body still wants to keep going in the motion of the previous way you
Yeah.
were going. So by doing that, the force on your body is just like you're being pulled in many different directions. Like your body wants to keep going in the previous direction, but then you're also getting pulled in another direction. So it's like you feel like you're going two ways at the same time when you're not.
Yeah.
And I remember when it started, there there was it basically would happen on three sides of the machine. There would be the fence, then the gate where the people were, and then like where the booth was. And every time we came to the fence, eh, I just felt like we were gonna fly into the fence. It felt like we got really close to hitting it. Like when we got towards the people, which should have been more of the scary thing of hitting into people, we were further away enough that it didn't feel like we were gonna crash into them, and same thing with the booth. But when we got to the fence, which was on the back side of the machine, we got like I felt like I could have reached out my hand and touched the fence. Like that's how close we got to it. And
Yeah.
at first I kept thinking we were gonna fly right into it, but then as the ride kept going and we did it a couple more times, it's like okay, this is fine. And like I said, it wasn't as bad after a few seconds and whatnot. But it was a lot of fun, and I didn't get dizzy on it. I didn't get nauseous, so I guess little me was a little bit more dainty, but I was able to handle this much better. And I really
Oh,
enjoyed it.
I have a phone call.
Oh no.
Uh, okay, we're gonna cut real quick. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay, so after the scrambler, we went on the tilt-a-whirl. Do you
Yeah,
remember
that's
that?
when it started raining. Or
Yeah.
drizzling. We've been on a tilt-a-whirl at Boardwalk before,
Mhm.
but nonetheless, it was still pretty fun. And I remember, I remember when we were on it, I said at one point, I said like, "Oh, this is not so bad," and then like it just suddenly like really did a big
It took
boy
up,
spin,
yeah.
and I was like, and it did it like 4 in a row. So I was like, oh god, oh my, what did I keep saying? I kept going,
You were like talking like you were Mr. Krabs
no, 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 no,
or
no. But I kept
something.
saying, I had a catchphrase every time like things got a little intense. I kept saying, uh, oh god, oh god, what was it?
I don't know.
I kept saying like it was something silly like like yo. I don't know what
Hey
the hell.
yo, I
No,
don't
not
know.
yo, but it was something with oh my god, I can't remember what I was doing, but I kept doing it, and the reason why I want to bring it up is because it came into play on like one of the last rides we did, and it came out horrible. But I don't want to bring that up just yet, but I wanted to bring up the noise I was making on every other ride leading up to it. Um, I can't remember what I said. I'll try thinking of it. But yeah, the tilt a whirl was just a lot of fun, and I remember
Yeah.
before we got on the ride, I was like looking at like some of the people that were on and some of the faces that they were making. Some of the kids were just like really funny. Like it looked like they were just gonna
Some
like
of them,
pass out.
yeah, some of them were not having it.
Yeah.
It was really funny. I remember there was one boy who was just like leaning back, like he was just like dead. Like he's like, ugh. Do
Yeah.
you remember
I
that?
I get, and it just looked like he was sliding out of his seat.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Yeah. After
The
that was when we went on the
little monorail thing.
no. We went on the wing one.
No,
The
that
flying
the Frontier Flyers was after the monorail.
was it?
Yeah, because we went in order of the ride, so we had to pass the monorail to get to the Frontier Flyers.
Okay. Alright, so yeah, monorail. Honestly, that was a waste of time, but it took
What do
forever.
you
It
mean?
was
That
such a
was
long line.
fun.
It was such a long line though. I mean, like it was a nice view of the park and everything, but like it was so short, and that's why I'm saying like for something that was so short, I can't believe there was that massive of a line for it.
Because it's a fun, relaxing ride. And you get to go around the park and the zoo.
I will admit that ride probably because of the wait time was why we didn't get to go on like one other ride that you wanted to go on.
It's okay. You have to do the monorail. It's a fun ride.
So fun, but yeah.
Mm.
Then we went on the Frontier Flyers. So
Yes.
yeah, this ride for me, Amanda warned me. Oh, I kept saying "EO." That's what I kept saying.
Oh.
Because it happened on this ride a lot. Like, "EO, EO." And I kept saying that every time things got a little intense. I don't know why, but it like helped me in the moments where I got that sinking feeling in my stomach. And again,
Yeah.
these rides weren't as intense, but this one, the Frontier Flies, I was a little anxious, like watching how people were going on it before us. But I'm like, you know what? It's gonna probably be like the Scrambler. It's not gonna be that bad once I'm on it and whatnot and whatnot. So I still have my hoodie on, I remember. And uh we get on, and the way this thing works, Amanda was explaining to me is like the wings, she said like if you want to have the more like smooth ride, just keep the thing straight. Because if you turn it to the
Yes.
left, you'll rise up in the air. Um and if you turn it to the right, I think you would rise up in the air the other way. But I thought when she said that, I thought turning it to the left would like rise me up, and turning it to the right would rise me down. So the ride starts and it started going fast. I'm like, oh, this is kind of tame. So let me start playing with this thing because this is kind of boring if I just stay with this. So I turned it to the left, and it was like so fast, like just the slightest change in the wing made me
Yep.
go like really high. I remember I thought, oh shit, I'm gonna hit the trees. So then I turn it immediately to the other side, and then I start going even higher. It fell. I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, oh no, why did I play with this thing? So then I started panicking. I'm like, what am I gonna do? And then I'm just like going like, like I'm just like going up and up and up, and I'm like, I'm gonna
Yeah.
fly off this fucking thing. I'm gonna hit my head on something because like there were some low hanging branches on one part of the when you're spinning around. Like, I'm gonna hit some fucking trees. And I remember it also felt like I was gonna fly over, like detach from the ride and fly over the freaking booth where the guy was controlling the machine. And I was like, what the hell do I do? And as I'm doing this and I'm rising, because like I said, I have my hoodie on my head. I start slowly feeling it just coming off my head and going past my ears. I'm like, oh no, the hoodie's coming off. And
Oh
I'm like,
no.
yo, and Amanda's in front of me, and I think she's hearing what I'm doing, and I'm just
I
like,
did not.
I'm kind of just okay. You didn't hear me, but I remember when the ride started, I was like, I had one hand over the other clasped on the swing. And at first, I wasn't like holding it that hard. I remember like Amanda looked back at me. He's like, "You're gonna be fine." And then when this started happening, I was squeezing on the thing so hard, and I'm just going, "Ee-yo, ee-yo," and I'm just like, ah. And then when the ride's over, Amanda turns around and sees me. I'm just kind of like holding the thing, just like shaking a little bit. Like I'm happy, but like just like a
Yeah.
little anxious from what just happened. And she's like, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Look at my hand." And when I let go of the thing, the hand that was underneath my other, so I had one hand on top of the other. The one that was on the underneath side was like pressed in really hard by the fingers on top, so you could just see all the red marks on my
Yeah.
knuckles and whatnot. And like she's like, "How hard were you squeezing your fingers?" I'm like, very hard. But it was so fun at the same time. But it was like it was scary because I was just like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah. It was fun though. I
Yes,
enjoyed it.
it was like the swing ride with a twist. So
Yeah.
then we went on the train ride after that, right?
Yes, the little train.
Yeah, that was amazing.
It
Steam
was
powered train.
fun.
Yeah, it was a little relaxing ride.
Yeah,
Oh,
you just kind of went on a little choo-choo train and took you around the little track. You just kind
yeah,
of relaxed. I mean, it was definitely for, younger kids, but it was fun.
you think? We
Yeah.
barely could fit in it. But
We fit in it fine. Thank you very much.
what do we do after that? Is that the when we went to
So
the Jolly
after
Rancher
that, yeah, so after the train, we went over to the Jolly Rancher, which is a new ride. It was like the Jolly Rancher
remix? No,
remix. No,
wait,
no,
I
the mixer. The remix was
mixer
like the roller
roller coaster.
coaster.
Yeah, the mixer. I remember looking at this ride, and this is like the first ride where I'm like, okay, we did the scrambler, we did the whatever the freaking tilt a whirl, and we did the flying frontiers. Flying frontiers was the scariest so far out of those three. I'm looking at this, and it doesn't look bad when you're watching it,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I start thinking about putting myself on the ride. Like, how's it gonna feel when I'm actually in it? And the way this thing worked was it spun in a circle, but it had like arms that on each side of it, and basically two people could sit, well, four people could sit in one like little section,
Front and back.
and front and back. So like you have two people on one side, two people on the other side, and it basically had an arm. And basically, as it was spinning, and as the thing in the center was rotating, the arms had people on two sections on either side, and the arms would go up and around in a circle as
Like a
well.
propeller kind of thing.
Yeah, so like you would go so you could go one of two ways depending on how you're seated on the thing. You could go like forward, like if you're at the, let's say we're looking at from the top. You could go down going forward and come back and up and around and keep going that way. Or you could go backwards where let's say you start at the bottom and then you go uh up.
Well, you technically go both
You
ways.
do go both ways, but, like, when you're
Yeah.
initially on it, I don't depending on where you're seated, I think you go one way versus the other originally.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, so looking at the ride, I'm like, "It doesn't look bad," but I'm like it starts giving me that, like, feeling of heights again and, like, the sinking feeling because, like, my thinking of roller coasters again, one fear I do have besides going up the chain and feeling yourself being that high is when you're at the top of the roller coaster and you start going down, you get that sinking feeling in your stomach.
Mhm.
Now on a roller coaster that happens once and then like you're probably done with it and it's over. This happened multiple times in the span of a couple seconds and I'm like, how am I going to feel when that happens?
It
Like with
also lifted you up a little bit once you got on. Like it lifts
yeah,
up a little bit.
yeah, well, yeah, in order for the arms to be able to actually like move counterclockwise or clockwise, it needed to have that room. So you're a little bit off the ground initially. But what I was also saying was, up until this point, I've only been on one ride that was really in the air that was going fast, and that was the Flying
Mhm.
Frontiers. But the difference with that is, once I was up in the air, I wasn't like going up and down, up and down. I was just kind of staying high in the air, so I wasn't
Yeah.
getting that sinking feeling. I mean, like I maybe felt it for a split second when I was rising, but then that was it. Um, so this was like I think I was going in the right order of rides to like, prepare myself if I were to go on a roller coaster. Um, and I remember like also next to us the Jolly Rancher roller coaster was going on, but that ride kept
Yeah.
breaking down.
I think it broke down while we were online.
It did. I remember there were these people that were on the ride. Um, And yeah, and we actually before I explain like how this ride went, we actually did meet another little girl on the ride because we were talking
Mhm.
about it, and basically what I'm talking about now is kind of like what I was saying to Amanda on the line, and she overhears and she turns around and starts talking to us. Oh, it's not that bad. It's actually pretty fun. Like you'll get used to it. Blah blah blah. And she's also was saying like how she goes on some of these other roller coasters. She said she's like, oh, I went on the Super Duper Loop or whatever today, and I
Yeah.
used to be scared of that, but it wasn't that bad. And I remember Amanda telling me like I'm not sure if I would do it because of the loop because like she doesn't like
It's
going on
so
loops.
funny though, because it's called the Super Duper Looper, and it's just one loop.
Yeah, but yeah, so pretty much we were having that conversation with her, and then we were almost seated near her, but we ended up going a little further away.
Yeah, I think she
Um,
wanted to be seated with us.
she did, but since she was by herself, I don't know, like
Yeah.
'cause most people were in pairs, so she had to kind of go with someone else that was by themselves. Um, so yeah, so me and Amanda were next to each other. And so the way also this ride worked was the reason why the line was so long was, people would be on both sides of the arms, and then when the ride would stop, some people would be in the air and some people would be on the ground. So the people on the ground would have to get off, and then new people would get on, hence us. And
Mhm.
then like you would go and you would spin a couple times and do the ride, and then the people that just got on would end up being in the air, and then the people that were in the air previously are now on the ground, and then they have to
Yeah.
get off and switch. So just switching everybody out like that took a while. So I remember we're on it, and the first time we're on it, I think the way it went was counterclockwise. So like if you're sitting in it, you saw yourself when
Like
you're at the
falling
top.
forward.
Yeah, when you're at the top, you were going forward. Cause and then on the second time when we were at the top, we were going backwards.
Yeah.
Um,
Backwards is
so
going easier though.
it was easier, but I think because we were used to the feel of the ride, it wasn't as bad too. But I remember when we got on the ride, I'm panicking. I mean, I felt safe and secure in the thing. Like, don't get me wrong, but I remember I was panicking. And I'm like, what the heck? And we like Amanda said, we did that little bit of a rise. So I'm like, oh no, here we go. And then the thing starts rotating. So at first it's slow. So we start going up, and like I'm at the top, and then we go down. And again, it's not bad. I don't get that. Like I got that sinking feeling just a tiny bit, but we're going slow. So it's like okay, it's kind of gradual. But then as we're coming down, then we start rising faster, and I'm feeling myself go up, and I'm like, oh no, the coming down part is gonna be what gets me. And I remember
Yeah.
I like just involuntarily or instinctively, my body was like lurching forward, and the noise that came out of me, instead of making my EO noise, I just went and and like as if I was taking a shit. And I don't know, like my body just like I in that moment, my brain was like, "Get me off this! Get me off this! Get me off this!" And my body was just like, "Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!" And like I felt my stomach just want to jump out of my chest or something like that
Yeah,
as
because
we
it
were
was kind
going
of
down
like
the front.
yeah, because it was kind of like pushing you forward, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. So it felt like I wanted to lurch out of my seat, and like I was just like trying to brace myself for it each time. Like it was like the first 3 times it was kind of bad for me. Like I was trying to brace myself for it each time. I remember I was like, like panicking as we got to the top, and then as we were about to go forward, and I'm like, oh, here it is, here it comes. I'm like there's no way of stopping it. Like, it's just coming and
Yeah.
coming. But then after doing it like 3 times, then it was like, okay, this is actually kind of fun, and like it's not bad. And then I was like, woo, and we were laughing about it and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then it's actually kind of scary, like when the ride stopped, so the people could get off, and we're just sitting at the top, dangling our feet. I mean, it was a nice view, But it was just kind of like, wow, we're kind of high up. Like the from the ground, it doesn't look like you're that high, but when you're actually there, we were about 30.
Yeah.
I looked it up afterwards. We were about 36, 40 feet in the air or something like that.
Yeah.
Um, so, and then the ride started again, but this time we started going backwards. And the first time it started up again, yeah, I got that feeling again, but it didn't bother me as much, and it was
That
actually
was
more enjoyable.
I found it relaxing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then on the second time, it was actually just kind of relaxing. And then we were just kind of like talking as it was going and just kind of enjoying it. But like I remember initially, I was just panicking, and that's why going back to everything I was saying about Comet and the drop tower, that feeling on those rides, which are a lot higher, it's like, am I gonna be able to handle it? I don't know. I mean, obviously, I probably will be able to handle it, but like the moment leading up to it is when I'm in the biggest panic of my life.
Yeah.
So that it's like, will I faint or something like that? Like and also like I think about that even before I get on the ride, so that's what makes me end up not going on the ride at all. Even
Yeah.
though, as I explained in the Jolly Rancher mixer, after doing it, then I got comfortable with it. So I'm sure if I went on a roller coaster like Comet or I went on that drop tower, I would get comfortable with it after I got over the initial, drop. But it's
Yeah.
just like bringing myself to be able to put myself in that situation initially is what's hard for me to do sometimes.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that ride was a lot of fun. Um, I mean, do you want to say anything about it before
Um,
moving on?
it was definitely like different, like a different kind of ride like I've ever been on.
It was a newer
Um,
ride, by the way.
yeah, it wasn't always there, but I really liked it. It was fun. I would go on it again.
Yeah, I think the ride we looked it up afterwards. Those rides opened up in like April of this year,
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
and we went in June, so it was a fairly new ride.
Well, the remix, the roller coaster, that was always there. It just they gave it the
Yeah,
Jolly Rancher skin.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But at
Yeah,
least this one, they opened it up right next to it, and
yeah, it was fun. I liked it. It was a very
yeah,
long line, but it was good.
yeah, yeah. And at this point in the day, it's like in the afternoon, closer to the time the park's gonna
Yeah.
close. So the line was a lot longer, it was a lot busier. So
Yes.
did we was after this we went on the last ride, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I mentioned it earlier, and I said that like when I went there were two roller coasters I was thinking of going on, Comet and Laugh Track.
Mhm.
So I think you could tell by how much I brought up Comet that it wasn't Comet that I went on. I managed to convince myself to go on Laugh Track with Amanda, and Amanda also was saying it's not that bad, and she said that Comet was worse than Laugh Track from what she could remember. But as you also just foreshadowing, you heard Amanda say, "I forgot how bumpy Comet was." So this kind of leads to you probably thinking, what else did Amanda forget about that day? Maybe some details about Laugh Track. Now, some details that she did know and she told me and I was aware of is Laugh Track is about 52 feet high of a drop, or 54, whatever it
Yeah.
is. Um, the cart does spin as
Uh-huh.
you're on the roller coaster, and you could either be forwards or backwards, and it's in the
Mhm.
dark.
And you go on the you go in well, first of all, it's not in the dark. It's like you can see where you're going and
But
it's like
it's
fluorescent like backgrounds and
it's
backdrops and
indoors.
stuff. Yeah. And I knew that it kind of like swayed up on the sides a little bit.
Yeah. But there's other things that she didn't remember that we'll get to. Um, but anyway, the line was pretty long for this, but I said, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna overcome my fear. I'm gonna go on at least one roller coaster.
Mhm.
And it wasn't gonna be Comet. Plus, Comet at this point of the day was gonna be a longer line than Laugh Track. Laugh Track was surprisingly not that long when we got to it, so he said, let's take advantage of this.
Yeah.
However, there were other rides that Amanda wanted to go on that we ended up not going on because we wanted to have time to do the build your own candy bar thing. Um, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
What happened? But so like we said, all right, this is gonna be the last ride for us. Um, so whatever. So we're online and we're getting closer and closer, and then like I remember once we got actually in, because the line starts outside under an awning, but
Yeah.
then we get inside you go through like all the like it's like supposed to be clowns and stuff, so like all the funny mirrors. I'm getting a little anxious, but then after the mirrors, then you get into like the main alleyway leading up to the coaster, and where you put your bags and stuff if you have any bags. Like Amanda had like a little like purse bag thing,
Yeah.
and that's where like you see all the cars coming and people coming off the ride and coming from the end and whatnot. And I'm seeing like people like laughing, and also like some people shaken up by it, and I'm like, oh god, oh
I
god, oh
didn't
god.
really see that many people shaken up by
I did because I'm paying attention to everything. You were like
it.
focused on me trying to calm me down, but I'm like, no, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna
I
do this.
kept
I'm
saying
not
you
gonna.
didn't have to go on it.
I know, and she
I
said I didn't have to, but this is really something I wanted to overcome.
I
And
really thought you were gonna check it out at the last second. I really did.
so it's our turn to get on, right? And I started walking towards the cart, and just like Amanda said, she thought I was gonna check it out. My brain was telling me just turn and go to the right, because if I went to the right, I would have went towards the exit. And my brain really wanted me to just say, nope, I'm not doing this. But I forced myself. I said no. I kept walking forward, and Amanda's like, "What side you want to be on, the front or the back?" And I said, "I don't care. You pick." So Amanda picked the back,
Because
and
you said you don't like looking going up.
yes, and this is true. This is true, and will say that wasn't a bad choice. So we get in, we're locked in. I'm panicking as we're locked in. But I said, but kind of like I was saying before, if I did this with the drop tower, if I did this with Comet, and I just walked onto the ride and got locked in, there's no going back at that point.
Yeah.
So, and again, at this point, I had my adrenaline built up, so I had some confidence doing this. With the drop tower and the Comet, I had no adrenaline built up, so it was harder for me to just kind of do that. With this, I felt more prepared. So if I felt like this and then tried going on Comet or then saw the drop tower, I think I would have went on those rides. And honestly, if I went on those rides, this ride would have been easier too.
Yeah.
That would have been even more adrenaline. But yeah, um, so we walk in, we're backwards. And like I said, I mentioned how I don't like going up the roller coaster. So like you're sitting back and you're looking up as you're going higher and higher.
See,
I
I
think
don't I
the
don't
only
get it.
part about let me talk. The only part that was bad about this was going up facing backwards, because even though I wasn't, I mean, most roller coasters aren't like this, so I never thought of how this might be. Because I when I'm thinking of going on a roller coaster, you always have the same vision that you're sitting back and you're watching yourself rise and you're watching yourself getting towards the peak. However, with this, I never thought about how it would look the other way, where you're rising and you're actually angled downward, and you're like, you're being held in by this, and you could easily just fall out and fall flat on your face, and you're watching yourself rise that way. That
Mhm.
actually I think was worse, because I could see how far the ground was below me, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm actually really high, like 52 feet higher than I thought.
Yeah.
And the best part is when we got to the top, I watched a video of what laugh track was like before this, and I forgot that the top, when you get to the top, you kind of like go on a curve, and then
Mhm.
you do this little bump, and then you actually go down. But like when we hit the little bump, and I felt ourselves just going down a little bit, I thought like, oh no, we're gonna hit the drop. I'm like, oh no, that's not the drop. I said, wait, why haven't? And then like I'm sitting there for a second, my panic subsided for a second. I'm like, wait, shouldn't we have hit the drop by now? And then the drop hit, and I'm
Yep.
like, oh no. So what were you gonna say before I explain further
um
thoughts as going up backwards?
Not
That's
only did well, I said I find it weird you like to go backwards because I hate it more than anything. I hate going backwards and not seeing where I'm going. So going backwards was hell for me. Two, not only did we go up backwards, that thing went up fast.
yes, it was fast, but you know what? It going fast was better for me, because it's like, all right,
And
get this over with.
if we went up the normal way, we would have like a cute little clown.
I saw the clown anyways. I remember we hit the bump, and when I was wondering why we didn't hit the drop, I saw the clown, and then all of a sudden I started sinking. I'm like, oh, bye, clown.
Well, we going backwards. You see like the skull. You don't really see the clown. You see the skull.
I saw some of the clown from my angle because of where I was
Yeah,
sitting,
I
but
yeah.
But the thing, so the piggyback off what you were saying is like, oh, I don't know how you like going backwards because you can't see where you're going. That's what made it better for me, because, like I said, I was distracted and I didn't know when it was coming. And because I didn't know when it was coming, my body couldn't like. So if I'm facing the drop, my body starts heaving and like it's like what happened on the Jolly Rancher remixer. Like I start heaving and getting like really panicky, like oh my god, here it comes, here it comes, here it comes, and like that moment is like really bad until the drop happens, and then it's like
Yeah.
okay, it's actually not that bad. But by me being backwards, I didn't know when it was coming, so my body didn't have time to overthink and overreact, and then it just
Yeah.
happened, and then because of that, it made it more enjoyable a lot quicker. Like it wasn't like I had time. I didn't have all that panic. I didn't have as much panic built up in me, I guess is what I'm trying to say
Yeah,
right before the drop.
I'm different. When I see the drop, that gives me time to like hype it up, like to hype myself up. It's like, okay, it's coming, it's coming, it's
It
coming. Let's do
makes
this.
me
Let's do
it
this.
makes it worse for me, but I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. And when it happened, oh my god, like because it's not like a straight, it's not like a normal down. It's like down and to the right or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So like you're getting pulled at the same time. But like I felt so secure in that thing, but it was crazy. It felt like because the thing you held on to is like in front of you, so your hands were stretched out in front of you, but you had like a vest around your shoulders.
Yeah.
But my hands were like in front of me. I remember as we were going down, at first tiny bit of panic, and then it was just a lot of fun, like just going really fast. But as I was holding my hands out there, I said, this feels like I'm Harry Potter. Because like it feels like I'm on the freaking broom just going around because like we were like twisting and turning and then the cart spun around.
Yeah.
But what I do remember is when I was going down, remember that "ee-yo" like noise I was doing,
Yeah.
like "ee-yo, ee-yo." I was gonna try to make the noise, but because of the panic I had, it just came out as "ee," and it sounded so cringy because like I was actually trying to scream. Instead of being like a real manly scream, it just sounded like a very wimpy scream. And
Wimpy,
I was like,
wimpy,
man, I
wimpy.
wish I wish I was saying something else that would have sounded better because I sound like such a baby. Um, but I guess I just was I again, it's the first time I've really been on a roller coaster, so I guess I just didn't have like didn't know how to react
Yeah.
to it. But now next time I'll have a better roller coaster scream, I feel. But after that initial drop, it was a lot of fun. And then I remember there was another big drop that kind of threw me off guard. Um, but
Me
it's
too.
still and that time I think we were facing forward. I'm not sure, but it's
No, I
still
think we were kind of like we weren't forwards
maybe
or
we were still
backwards. We were
backward,
we were like to
sideways.
the side. Yeah.
Sideways? Yeah, okay. I remember and I was like, "Oh, there's another big drop." But, like, at that drop, even though it was unexpected and I really felt myself getting pulled, it wasn't like the initial drop where I had the sinking feeling. It was kinda like, "Yeah, let's get it, like, do it again." And it was actually, like, a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Um, and honestly, like, after doing that, that's when I said, like, "Damn, I really wish I did Comet now." But again, it's after going through that I feel that, not initially. And because Amanda went on Comet and the drop tower when we first got there, I just wasn't ready for it. And again, I also
Yeah.
never been on a roller coaster before, so it was even more intimidating for me. But next time we go there, if we do these kind of rides first, I think I could conquer Comet, and I think I definitely could do the drop tower. I think I could do the drop tower before Comet.
We gotta go for the water park on the log floor.
Yeah, yeah. Well, which one are we talking about?
You know which one I'm talking about.
Because Amanda wanted to go on the 100-foot drop log, flume whatever one,
Yeah,
and
I did.
we didn't have enough time to do it
Plus, it
because
was
of
like
laugh track.
cloudy, and I didn't have a bathing suit.
Actually,
So,
the sun was coming out a little bit at that
yeah,
time, but
but
yeah,
I still didn't have a bathing suit. Then I would have been wet, and it would have been cold. So I was like, you know what, it's better not to.
that's another fear of mine. Like all the water park rides going through the tube tunnel, like slide tunnels. Like I've always been scared of going on them, especially when I come out. I think like I'm gonna go in the pool and then drown, or not be, or come
The
out of the
pool's only
tunnel.
like not even. It's like 4 or 5 feet. It's not that deep.
Well, at the swim club, I remember it went into the 12-foot section of the pool, so that's why I always had this misconception about them.
Well, I
And
think
my
there's like little kids that go on it, so you gotta like be careful.
okay, but my worry always was coming out of the tunnel, not being prepared to hold my breath, and then like because it's happened before where I've dove into water not ready, and a bunch of water just shot up my nose, and then
It
basically
burns.
burns, and then makes me lose whatever breath I was holding in, and just like makes me cough up a bunch of chlorine water, and like it's the most, and it burns your throat, and I hate that feeling. So that's why I'm always scared to go down these slide tunnels because I have no idea when the it's gonna end, and
Yeah.
I feel like I'm not gonna be prepared for it. But if I see how it looks at the end of the tunnel, I see it's like only like a 3-foot drop into the in a pool, then I'm like, okay, if it's a 3 foot deep pool, then all right, maybe it's not that bad. Like even if I do fall, I'm gonna hit the surface pretty quickly, anyways, if that
Yeah.
happens. So I think I can overcome that now. Now that I saw some of the ones at Hershey, but that was something we didn't get to do. We didn't have bathing suits. If we were there for more days, I would have said make one day be about the water park and one day be the theme park.
Yeah.
Um, but the one ride that we also said we were gonna go on, but then we just skipped it. I forgot the reason. We were gonna go on the
Cold cracker.
coal cracker, yeah, which is also like a water ride with a 50-foot drop ish. Um, but it's not as bad as the log
Well,
flume one.
the reason we skipped it was because, well, we wanted to go and do the make your own chocolate bar thing.
Yeah, so it's the
And
same reason we didn't have time.
yeah, so and then like the chocolate factory also was closing very soon, and to get to the cold cracker was all the way on the other side of the park.
Right.
So we wouldn't have had enough time to go to the cold cracker and then go to the
Oh,
chocolate world.
yeah, and there's also another thing to bring up before we talk about what happened with the chocolate factory. Another reason why my adrenaline I don't think was, and also laugh track and comet intimidated me more, was because there wasn't really like an intermediary roller coaster for me to go on. Yes, there was one at the park, but it was closed, which was what, Trailblazer? Was that what it was?
Trailblazer, yeah.
So that if I went on that ride, that would have introduced me to roller coasters a little bit better, and then I would have had probably the confidence to go on Comet or Laugh Track a lot better. Like I mean, look, I still had the confidence to do Laugh Track, and it was still great. Luckily those other rides hyped me up for it, but I think my confidence would have been a lot better if I went on that first and then Laugh Track, because
Yeah.
these other rides didn't have any. I mean, the mixer had the dropping feeling, which got me a little prepared, which I was lucky for. But that roller coaster has also a drop that I think would have prepared me, and also get the feel of just a roller coaster in general.
Yeah.
Um, and it would have been a good step up, like to work my way up. But yeah, hopefully next year or next time we go, it's open again, because I think they were just like reworking it or something.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's gonna be themed differently too, or something. So it's gonna be called something else. But
Yeah, we'll see.
but yeah, I really think in the next few years I'll be able to go on Comet and some of the other like the Drop Tower ride and whatnot.
Yeah, just
I
takes
don't
time.
I don't know if I'll eventually get to the point where I love roller coasters and want to go on more. Cause oh yeah, that's a roller coaster we completely didn't talk about, the freaking Great Bear roller coaster, whatever the fuck.
Yeah, the Great
That roller
Bear.
coaster, we kept, because like the way it's intertwined with the park, we just kept passing it when we were walking through different things, and like, I mean, it's called whatever the bear or
The
whatever
Great Bear.
the Great Bear, because when it passes by, it sounds like it's roaring, like,
Yeah.
and like you go upside down, and it's like one of
You're
those
also hanging. Yeah,
yeah,
you're
it's a
hanging.
hanging roller coaster. That's what I was gonna say. Oh my god. And like sometimes it gets so close to the ground, like I'm worried that my ankles are gonna get cut off. Like, but what's so cool about it is that it goes over the water, and I think that's like such a cool
Oh
view.
yeah. I also fell. Do you remember that? We forgot to talk about that. The little
When did you fall?
they remember we were going, it's like the little, what's it called? The sky rider thing where you just
Uh,
sat in and it took you over the water
well, yeah,
and you
I was
come
gonna bring
back.
that up, but I don't remember you falling at. Oh,
Yeah,
when we were going up
when
the
we were
thing. Right?
going down the thing, yeah,
Oh,
to get
down.
onto the line.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Yeah,
it was slippery.
we were going down. Yeah, it was like
It
incline, like a hill. It was on pavement, but
was a
remember
decline.
it was like a cloudy. Or yeah, okay, we were going down the incline, but it was like a cloudy day, and it must have rained the day before, so it was like a little
Well,
wet.
no, it just got done with the little drizzle.
Oh, okay. So it
Yeah,
was after it rained. Okay, so it was after we went on Tilt the World.
yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so we did that in between. That was really nice, and we saw the ducks below us.
Yes, there was
I
Dutch.
was actually scared being on that thing, though. I felt like the cable was gonna just snap at any moment.
Nah,
But we got a good view of
the Great Bear.
well, that definitely that. They stopped. Yeah, they actually stopped the thing when the Great Bear was passing by, because they didn't want us to like one of the seats be it like directly underneath or
No,
when it
that's
was
not why.
passing
There's
by?
probably someone needed like assistance to get onto it, so they stopped it for that reason.
Oh, maybe that was okay.
And they didn't stop it for the Great Bear.
It's just I remember it stopping twice, and it so happened to be around the time when they were passing by.
It
But
just could be someone who was in a wheelchair, had crutches, or they needed like extra help just getting on and off.
maybe, but we got a good view of the Super Duper Looper from there.
Yes.
And honestly, that's a roller coaster that I was tempted to go on too, especially after going on Laugh Track and having my adrenaline pumping, because I'm like, to be honest, this is a 45-foot drop, so it's around the same, and it's honestly not intense at all except for the freaking loop.
Yeah.
That's the only scary thing about it. I don't know how I would feel if I would get a head rush and get a headache. I could see myself getting that, but I don't know for sure if I will.
See, I don't like the Super
But
Duper Loop
yeah,
because the only thing holding you in is a lap, like a pull down bar on your lap. And if you're going upside down, fuck that. No. No.
but like for one, the fact that it's only one loop, I feel like but actually wait, yeah, you said it's a lap bar, so that's like the one thing
It
that's scary
pulls
about it.
down. That's why I say fuck no.
But you haven't been on it, so you don't know.
But it's just on your lap holding you in. Okay, maybe you
But
have a
it's a
seatbelt.
super duper looper.
No, that
And
shit
it's a
is
white loop.
scary. Oh my god.
You know what? I have a feeling that if I overcome my fear of roller coasters, I'm gonna end up going on like that one and other ones that you're too scared to go on.
Yeah, you go for it. I'm okay
Well,
waiting.
I mean, look, I don't think I could go on like that red one that like shoots you in the beginning, like and shoots you
Yeah,
off. I don't
that
think I
one's
could go on
funny.
Sky Rush, or at least not anytime soon. I don't think I could go on any of those, or I mean, the bear one is like one that I wish I could go on, but it goes upside down way too many times. It has a lot of corkscrews and things like that. But like, I would,
There's
I mean,
Fahrenheit, which
that one.
is
Oh no, fuck that Fahrenheit. I saw that from the distance too. I was like, no.
yeah, that's
Um,
straight up, straight down.
yeah, no, fuck that. But like, I think like if I overcome Comet and Laugh Track more, and I go on the Trailblazer, I feel like I might have the confidence to do the Super Duper Looper because like drop wise, that's what scares me more. I honestly don't know my opinion on loops. Like I could just see myself getting a headache from going upside down because I know if I lay my head down like upside down, like I immediately get like a headache. But again, if you go through the loop fast enough, it might not be a problem. But I also know the Super Duper Looper, when I was watching it, it went through the loop kind of slow. So I don't know.
I
But
don't trust the lap bar.
I don't know. I might have the confidence to do it one day. But that might be like the last one I ever try. But
Mm.
yeah, so
It's
basically
lap bars only. Fuck that. No.
maybe they'll update the ride one day. I don't know.
I don't trust it. I do not trust it. It's
Yeah. What about Wildcat and the other one, the wooden roller coasters that I said I would go on?
I don't trust that either.
But you trust Comet.
I think they actually closed them.
They closed them after we left? They were open when we were there.
There was an article I was reading about a boy who was I think he was gonna pass away from having some illness, and they let him ride it one more time before they closed it.
What? And it was for this summer?
I have to
'Cause
look
I
it
remember
up.
there was a family in front of us, and I remember like the mother like said, "Oh, you want to?" I forgot what the name of the other one was, but there was Wildcat, and then it's like its cousin or whatever the other
Hold
one
on.
was.
Hershey Park announced in July 2022 that Wildcat was scheduled to close permanently on July 31st, 2022.
Oh shit! But not the other
Yeah,
one.
I'm not
They're both
sure.
they're both look like they built at around the
They're the
same
same
time.
thing, yeah.
Don't they? Aren't they intertwined with each other or no?
They're like next to each other, yeah.
Like, isn't it like you could see people from the other one? Like you race each other. I thought.
Yeah. It was added in 1923.
Oh my god, Wildcat!
Yeah. Yeah. Others said they were looking forward to what will replace it. So
Oh
wait, hold on.
man. But
The
then that.
Wildcat is named in honor of Hershey's. Oh, so I lied. The Wildcat is the name of in honor of Hershey Park's first roller coaster, but it opened in 1996.
Oh.
Um.
So there must have been a roller coaster in 1920 called Wildcat, and then they
Yeah.
honored it by building this one.
Yeah.
Do you think this one was like the same coaster just rebuilt, like that intense, or
It could have been.
you think they really had that intense of a roller coaster back in 1920s,
Maybe.
or did they just upscale it and make it more intense?
I don't know, but I swear I heard something about a boy riding it before he like.
Well, you just said it's gonna close in end of July. Well, it's already closed because it's September right now.
Yeah. Hold on.
Oh, that's insane. But like, I don't get it. If they close Wildcat but not the other one, that defeats the purpose of those two rides because they were supposed to be like as if you were racing the other people on the other ride.
Yeah.
So now if one's closed, then the other one just is like a normal roller coaster now. They should be closing both of them because I feel like they're probably both a pain in the ass to maintain.
Yeah.
I don't get how they're closing that, but like freaking El Toro stays open. Or
Well,
is El
a bunch
Toro
of people just got injured on that.
El Toro?
Yeah. Six Flags?
Yeah, isn't El Toro
Yeah.
the all wooden roller coaster there that's like really old?
Yeah, a lot of people just actually got injured on that, and a lot of them were sent to the hospital. Did you not? I sent you that on TikTok. But did you
No,
not listen?
what you sent me on TikTok was them talking about how Six Flags stopped all the discounts.
Oh, well, 13 injured on El Toro roller coaster.
How long ago was this? Like a couple weeks?
Not even that long ago. August 26th.
Damn, last week.
Injured several people. I don't think anyone died, but
No,
there
I
was
mean
like neck and
thankfully.
back injuries. I heard.
What happened? Did it just like go too fast, or did it like?
It was 13 people total. According to the DCA, Six Flags said 14 people were treated in the scene. But it was 13. 5 of those evaluated at the park were taken to the hospital for further treatment. The DCA said one person suffered a neck injury, 2 had back injuries, and 2 others were being treated for mouth/tongue injuries.
What the hell happened to their mouth? The roller coaster just kissed them too hard.
Yeah, I
Like,
don't think they really know. It just
it sounds like if the roller coaster like hit like you know how it goes into itself, like it twists around
yeah.
through it. It sounds like they hit their heads on like a wooden plank. Like it's not funny, but like thinking about like if there's like a
Oh
piece
my
of wood hanging
god.
down, they just all go dun 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 dun
Hold
dun.
on. It says so. El Toro is one of the tallest wooden roller coasters in the world with a maximum speed of 70 miles per hour. State
Yes.
officials fined the park after the same ride partially derailed last
Oh,
summer.
I remember they lost 2 million visitors around this summer because of they reduced the discounts. Now they could have used all those people.
Yeah. Oh my god. I'm trying
I
to
mean,
figure out what happened though. Like
I bet they
what?
make so much money. They opened a new roller coaster this past summer that I
Well,
think did really well.
the owner of Six Flags was like, "Yeah, we don't really care about the local people because we're not really babysitting teenagers anymore."
Well, yeah, no, but one thing that they did say at the end of that TikTok video, the Garden State podcast, when they were quoting what he said, they said that they were overcrowding the parks, and
Yeah.
so like yeah, I mean he said that comment about babysitting teenagers, and that seems kind of rude, but in a sense, from a business standpoint, it wasn't really worth overcrowding the parks that much because like they did mention like wait times were insane. So like
Yeah.
now for the average goer who's committed and doesn't just go because of a discount, it's actually more enjoyable. You could go on more rides while you're there, and that actually might do better for them in the long run business
Yeah,
wise.
I mean, it says here witnesses reported hearing a loud bang and seeing a jolting of the El Toro train while customers were on the ride. The ride will remain closed to complete the review, make necessary repairs.
I wonder what they bang their faces on, like if
It
a
just
piece
says
of
it just
like a
says experts determined part of the ride's substructure needed to be repaired.
Can you imagine though? Like it's just like a piece of wood that stuck out, and they just all bang their head on the same
Oh
piece of
my
wood, like do do
god.
do 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 do. It's like ow, my mouth, my back, my neck. But I mean, it's not really funny. But like, if that's what happened, I mean, that's insane. I mean, it
Yeah.
was bound to happen though. Like that quotes are so old. But anyway, getting back to the point. Um, yeah. So after Laugh Track, we said, all right, we don't have time for another ride. Let's go. Let's just go to the factory and make your own Hershey bar. We
Mhm.
got there, and because we went so late, basically the tickets were sold out and you couldn't do it for the rest of that day. You had to do it the next day. And I think they
Yes.
also closed around like soon, so they weren't letting any more people in. So we had to do it the next day. And usually the next day was when we were gonna leave. We were just gonna eat breakfast and leave. So you know
Yeah.
what? We'll get up a little early because they opened at like 9 or 8. Can't remember. Um, and I said like let's just go in there, um, and get get our chocolate bars and then leave for the experience. Now I remember I did this as a kid. And I remember I loved it. Um, and I thought this was gonna be like I mean, from what I remember, I thought it was like, oh wow, you could do a lot of crazy shit with this.
Mhm.
Um, and I remember I was like panicking because like, oh man, the parking was pretty bad when we were at the actual park. I really hope that we don't have to deal with like parking with all the other people. And then Amanda found out that like, yeah, there's just an area you could park for if you're just doing the chocolate factory. So luckily we were isolated and it was good we got there early because there were a lot of open spots. And then remember when we left, oh man,
It was
it was
full.
fucking packed. And like
Yeah.
I had like anxiety trying to get out of there because it was so narrow, but we got out of there
Yeah.
somehow. But I will say, I mean,
It was a
and especially
letdown.
it was a letdown, and, like, I did it before, and I remember I hyped it up so much, and Amanda's like, "Oh,
How much did we pay for both tickets to do that?
about $60."
And you know what? I'm sorry. It was not worth it. It was not worth it. It was like cool, I guess, like being able to see it and getting like your little tin and your creating your own little
Rapper.
paper wrap, whatever.
Yeah.
But I thought I could put gummy worms in my chocolate bar. No,
Yuck.
you can put in like 4 different things, and then you could add sprinkles to the top if you want.
And I think you forgot to do that.
No, I put sprinkles. The thing was, I didn't know what was coming because I thought like, oh, here's just like the chocolate chips you can put in it. It was like 2 different types of chocolate chips, pretzels, and whatever. And I didn't want any of that in my chocolate bar because I wanted to wait for the gummy worms. I was like, oh, well, if I could put gummy worms and other kind of fun stuff in that, then I want it to be like sweet and sour. So I just put fucking sprinkles on mine. So I got a plain ass fucking chocolate bar with sprinkles on top.
And you still ate it.
I did, but it was not worth $35 per person or
And it
$30
was
per
also pretty
person.
big. But, yeah, no, I get it, and I honestly thought as a kid there were a lot more toppings. I mean, there were quite a few, but you were only allowed to put 3 on the inside and then sprinkles on top, and that's it.
Yeah.
So, it was very limited. And I mean, I get it because like so many people want to do it, and and probably it would take too long if there were so many things to pick from, and kids being indecisive and whatnot. So it would like eat up a lot of time, and they want to try to get as many people through that as possible throughout a day.
Yeah.
So it makes sense, but I should have if I knew that beforehand. And I told Amanda that we probably wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
But again, as a kid, I didn't really remember, and now that I actually did it firsthand. I probably will never do it again, but it was still fun creating my own little banner, and it'll be like a memento to remember.
Yeah, I
But
still have mine here.
yeah, I never ate mine though. I still haven't eaten it.
You haven't eaten it?
Nope.
My God, things
I
probably
actually
bad
haven't
by
finished
now.
because we also went to because we bought some candy to bring home, and they had a deal. I remember they said like buy like 2 Kit Kats get 2 free or whatever, some crap like that.
Of
So
the jumbo size too.
yeah,
Or
so
the
I
king
I bought
size.
them. Yeah, king size Kit Kats. So I bought like some different flavors, like one with strawberry and chocolate, one with mocha and chocolate, dark chocolate, and then like just like I was allowed to do a king size Kit Kat, so I did like a big chunky one. I remember I ate the king size the same day I bought it,
Yeah.
and I still haven't finished all those Kit Kats. I ate the strawberry one, not that I mean the mocha one like a couple months ago, and then I ate the strawberry one like a few weeks ago. I still have the dark chocolate one, and I still have my big boy candy bar that I haven't eaten.
Oh my God, give it to me. I'll finish it in a day.
No, we were trying to look for like the Reese's Take Five, but it wasn't there for some reason.
Yeah.
They had so many other Reese's things. They had the Reese's syrup, Hershey syrup. They had so much candy, and they had the big 5 pound Hershey bar. I was tempted to buy. I was like, well, should I do this? But like,
Those
nah.
Twizzlers my dad got were really good.
I never had one of them. I always tempted
Oh,
to buy one too.
they were. I'm usually not a Twizzler person, but it was. Oh, was it the fruit punch flavor? I think it was. and it had like this really good jelly inside. Oh my god, I was addicted. I couldn't stop eating them. It
Not
was
the
so
black
good.
licorice.
Not black licorice.
uh,
I
that's
gotta
funny.
sneeze.
Bless you.
Thank you.
I wish I could have tried one. I should have bought some. But I didn't. I didn't want to go overboard with the candy and stuff. Which is a surprise because younger me would have hit me in the head. Oh, and that was the last thing we did. We that day we went on the we went on the little ride that showed us through the chocolate factory and whatnot.
Oh yeah, we got the picture.
And we got the cows, the animatronic cows. It was crazy.
Yeah.
I hated though that like the floor to get to the thing was like spinning. So it was just like it was just hard to walk on.
It wasn't that hard.
I almost fell.
And you must fail.
Remember the grandmas in front of us who almost fell?
That was funny.
Like, what are these two old biddies doing going on this ride? That was funny.
Yeah,
Though.
yeah. Pretty good. I appreciated that.
Grandma. Um, yeah, and then we left, and then we had the road trip home, and then I dropped Amanda off at her house, and then I went home.
Yeah.
And
It was fun.
and actually that was the last thing that came from that day. I took a picture of Amanda wearing her apron and hat. Oh, such a classic photo.
Gee, thanks.
I called her. If any of you know Mojo Jojo from Powerpuff Girls, that's exactly who she looked like with the apron on her head. She was so happy about that.
I wasn't.
But I kept my apron because as another momentum from that day.
I thought I
Momentum.
kept mine too, but I don't know where.
Well, you don't remember where you keep a lot of stuff, so.
Very true. But yeah.
Wow, we went way. This is almost an hour and a half. I think it
Well,
is.
to be fair, there's some stuff we gotta cut out.
Don't say that.
Sorry. Shit.
Now I gotta cut that out.
I'm sorry.
Dumb bitch. Nah, it's okay.
Ah!
So we're not gonna talk about the other things because this is a very long episode.
Yes.
But like I said, topics to come. We talked about. We have AC, our Atlantic City trip, to talk about, and we have Misery to talk about.
Yes.
We don't know if we'll get both of those in one episode. I don't think we did as much in Atlantic City. I don't think there will be as much to talk about. But yeah, that was pretty much our Hershey trip, and it was a lot of fun. And I'm really happy that we did it.
Yeah, me too. I loved it. It was the best Hershey trip I've ever had.
Yeah, I mean, this is my third time that I went, but honestly, I definitely don't remember the first time. I was like freaking 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And then the other time, I remember I was I graduated 5th grade, so I was about to start middle school. So what the hell was I, like 12 at the time?
Yeah.
No, not 12. I was 11. But yeah, I barely remember that.
Yee.
All right. Well, I'm sorry I hit my microphone again. Like I keep hitting it.
It's okay.
But
Do you ever just like your microphone times?
Okay, Aaron. And also just another quick little announcement. First I apologize for being slow on editing videos. I'm gonna get back into it today.
Yes.
I want to try getting through that. I have to go through this, just look through the audio, make sure it's okay, and then I'll upload this, hopefully today or tomorrow. Videos, I'm gonna try to get back on a schedule with editing. I'm gonna try to take a couple hours each night to work on a video and get some videos out for you guys. Really apologize about that. However, when we're not uploading videos and not uploading podcasts, feel free to check out our Twitches.
Yes.
We're gonna start linking those in the description of our podcasts videos in the YouTube and Spotify. Well, I don't know if on Spotify I can. Well, I think I can, but check out our Twitch. We're more active on that because to live stream it's just easy. Like if I want to play a game, boom, I go live stream.
Yeah.
I advertise it in the Discord. I will link our Discord as well if you guys want to join. If you're not already in it, we'll announce when we go live. And yeah, we play a variety of games. I mean, with some story, some multiplayer. Sometimes we'll stream at the same time. So like maybe one of us will stream or we'll both stream so you can see both of our point of views if you're curious.
Yeah.
But other times it's just maybe one of us streaming. So
for example, I'm in the middle of The Evil Within right now.
Correct. So unfortunately, since we're telling you this now, you missed the beginning of that. But
it should be uploaded, I think.
So actually, I think
14 days or something.
yeah, it goes away after some time. So yeah, if you're a little late to this, you're probably gonna miss it. We don't upload the streams to YouTube. If that's something you guys want to see and you want to like have a you know history of it, we can download the stream and then put it on the Mandy and Andy channel for you guys. Um, but yeah, for now we're just streaming on Twitch whenever we don't have a set schedule. It's just honestly whenever we have free time. As you can see, we're pretty bad at sticking to a schedule with this, but
Yes.
I'm hoping to from now on to try to do one podcast a week, and at least maybe one video a week. I know it would be more ideal and more entertaining for you guys to have several videos a week, but it is a little hard with everything else going on in our lives. Amanda's got school and a job. I got a job,
Yes.
a full time
And
job.
I still got 2 shits. So let's wrap this up, okay? Please.
Yeah, we don't want Amanda to be constipated. She's she's gonna blow.
I'm gonna blow if we don't end this soon.
Okay, okay. All
Alright,
right, thank you.
bye!
What a way to start season 2. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Peace.